And now we'll take a look in the garden with Cameron and Austin this morning, where they talk about planting and growing cover crops.
Welcome back to In the Garden. I am joined here with Austin from Grange Co-op, and today we're talking about planting and growing cover crops. So Austin, first, before we start our planting, tell us why people plant and grow cover crops.
So cover crops serve several different purposes. Some cover crops are planted to add new nutrients to the soil that may have been lost from a prior crop. Other times it's planted to prevent soil erosion when there's not any crops in there at the moment. So the roots of these cover crops will help prevent like leaching of the soil, any nutrients and all that.
All right, great. So let's get started. What's the first step that we should do when planting cover crops?
So luckily here I have a nice empty bed that's pretty much ready to be planted in. All I'm gonna do before planting is I'm gonna turn over the soil and add a little bit of compost just to enrich in the soil and give the cover crop a better chance of doing its job.
Great. All right, let's get started. Okay, so Austin, what's the difference between the dirt we already have in here and the dirt that you're going to be putting on top?
So this dirt in here, it's already been used to grow crops, so it's probably lacking nutrients. It doesn't have much tilth. I mean, I can just scoop in here and just kind of pick the soil up. Not very rich. It could definitely use some organic matter.
And what about watering? How often should you water your cover plants?
Well, as long as they're not under a tree or any other something else that's going to block the rain, you shouldn't really have to water it ever unless we go into a drought during the winter months.
That makes sense because it's probably going to be raining.
Yes. So now that I've got the compost mixed in with the top layer of the soil here, I'm now ready to begin spreading the cover crop seed. And so that's what we're going to be doing now.
So these are seeds. What will these look like when they're all grown?
So this is a mixed variety of cover crop. There's some legumes in here. Those are going to be peas. They're not the kind of peas that you eat. They're just planted to add microbial activity and to add some lost nitrogen back to the soil.
Can I do some?
Absolutely. And then with the cover crop seed, you don't have to be super careful with it. It'll grow as it grows. You can't really cover one spot too much. All right. So now that we've got the seed laid down, we're ready to apply our topsoil, which in this case, we're just going to use another bag of compost to cover these seeds. And then after that, it's just a waiting game and waiting for them to grow.
Perfect. Let's put our topsoil on top.
Let's do it.
All right, so what's the importance of like lightly raking it over on top?
Well, you don't want them to be buried too deep or else they may germinate and just die. Lightly covering them. The cover crops are very low maintenance. You just pretty much plant them and let them grow as they will.
So this is also kind of a low maintenance plant.
Yes.
All right, so if you're a low maintenance gardener, these are also great for your garden.
Well, going through and planting cover crop it may be for high maintenance gardeners, people who want to protect their soil or keep it healthy.
All right, is that good?
That looks good to me. Most of our seed's covered. Don't be too worried if you see a little bit of seed sticking out. Either the birds will pick it off and other seeds will take its place.
Perfect, so now it's a waiting game.
That it is.
All right, so now that you have your cover crop planted, like we said, it's a waiting game. So if you want to get this in your yard, of course, you can head to a Grange Co-op store, or to learn more information, you can head to our website at kdrv.com. Thanks so much for joining us in the garden.